The one and only, the very lovely Cupcake Jemma. Well, that was gonna snap to get her in, wasn't it? Yeah. Hey guys, welcome back to, well, this is not actually my kitchen, and you may recognise it because today I am joined by the one and only, the amazing Cupcake Jemma. Hello!
Hello!
So, we are today in your kitchen.
Yeah, you are.
Yes, and this is a much nicer looking, more professional setup.
Oh, stop it.
But, so we've already filmed a video, so if you go over to Gemma's channel, which you, of course you're already subscribed to, but if you're like the one person that isn't, go over and subscribe to Gemma's channel. She tried to convert me to cupcakes and she may have succeeded. So
You said I had.
No, they were really good, So we made a, what was it? It was a pretzel and salted caramel brown butter cupcake. They're really good.
Nice.
Yeah. So
all your favourite things.
Yes, so there'll be a link to the video at the end of this, so stay and watch this one first, please. And then jump over and watch the video. But they're really, really beautiful cupcakes, so do give it a listen. Listen, it's not a podcast.
Give it a listen and a look.
If you want to watch it, it's pretty looking good too.
Or just watch it with your eyes closed and just listen.
Just guess what the cupcake
Just
looks
make
like.
it up in your head. Why not?
So, today I'm going to show Gemma one of my recipes, and this is something that I did at a charity event a couple of weeks ago. And you've been asking me for it every single day on Instagram.
I've been asking it. No, I
Gemma has
actually
been asking me for it too. So I'm making this as quickly as I can so that we can give you the recipe, but it's incredible. It's so delicious.
Well, I actually missed out on this a couple of weeks ago when you had it on the stall because I was faffing around at home and left it late. Little did I know that everyone had sold out.
Well, Gemma texted me saying, please save me some things. And by that point, I'd sold out of almost anything anyway. But these brownies sold out in 20 minutes. Like, we had 40 of them, I think.
I never stood a chance.
Disappeared. No, we were so surprised how popular everything was. It was insane. But these were by far the most popular. People were really upset that there weren't any left. So I'm going to show you how to make them.
Should mention that the charity was Cook for Syria.
Yes.
It was a Bake for Syria event, and it's a really, really good charity.
So Cook for Syria raises money for the UNESCO refugee effort. And this was a baking special day that we raised, I think, we haven't got the final figure, but we think it's over £10,000 we raised in a day. So
that's amazing.
We were
and
so happy about
not unfortunately, because there's nothing left, not a penny from me.
Oh no.
I got there so late.
It was bad, like we literally, none of us expected to sell that many things. It was incredible. So if you did come down and buy something, thank you very much. And in return, I'm gonna give you the recipe. But the interesting thing about this recipe first is it doesn't use chocolate. It's a brownie, there's no chocolate in it.
But there must be some kind of chocolate, Ed. How are you going to get the chocolatiness into a brownie?
So what we're using instead, this is my twist on an American recipe by an amazing food writer called Alice Medricks, and she works on chocolate a lot.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Yeah, and she came up with this idea. I don't know if she came up with it, but it's her recipe for a cocoa-based brownie.
Right.
And so I've been playing around with her recipe for a while, so this is my take on the recipe. It's not quite the same, but it only uses cocoa powder, and it uses a lot of cocoa powder.
It is an awful lot.
But it's replacing, so to me it gives a really intense chocolate flavour, and you can control the sweetness a little bit as well because there's no sugar in the cocoa powder. But they're super, super good and actually incredibly easy to make. So we're gonna make a caramel first, and for that you're gonna need some caster sugar, some double cream, flaked sea salt, and then a little bit of unsalted butter. And for the brownie mixture, you're gonna use all that cocoa we mentioned, and then 2 types of sugar, light brown and caster.
Nice.
Then you need plain flour, eggs, and a healthy amount of butter. And we'll talk about the topping later, but for the caramel, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a dry caramel. So if you've already watched Gemma's video, you know that Gemma does her caramel wet, so this is a different way of doing it.
It scares me, dry.
I think it's just a preference thing as well. I think you get used to the way you learn to make caramel.
Also, you use dry when you make things like spun sugar and stuff, don't you?
Yes.
You'd always use dry.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. I mean, I never do spun sugar.
I mean, who does, really?
I mean, James Martin.
Only people on Bake Off. Oh, hang on a minute.
I never did spun sugar on Bake Off. So what we're going to do is we're going to put it over like a medium heat and resist the urge to stir. We've already talked about my stirring habit.
It's got a habit,
I've got a
and it's all about stirring.
Yeah. So what we do is leave it on the heat until it becomes really nice and coppery around the outside of the edge. So we've got the sugar on the pan, and if you have a look, it's starting to caramelize around the outside. We're just gonna bring it into the middle, just gently stir it until it's nice and combined, but don't continuously stir it, just a very gentle swirl. Right, so I'm gonna give Gemma a job. Gemma's gonna add in the cream, the butter, and the salt. And then basically, once the butter's melted, just leave it on for a couple of minutes until it's really nice and smooth, and just have a couple of minutes to reduce and get a little bit thicker. So now that the caramel's made, we can leave that to cool because it does need to be fully at room temperature. If you want, you can throw it in the fridge for a little while, but it just needs to be nice and firm so it can't have any heat to it. So normally I just pour it into a jar, shove it in the fridge, and I make it the next day.
Nice.
Really nice and easy. But now we're gonna make the brownie, and it's a little bit different, as I said, to a normal brownie. So what we're gonna do, if we can add, if you wanna grab the cocoa,
yep.
we're gonna add all of the butter.
Masses of cocoa. Ooh.
Just 175 grams, it's
no
fine.
big deal.
About 1.5 cups for the people that keep asking me for cups.
1.5 cups.
We're gonna add that to a pan, and we're gonna put that over medium-low heat and just cook that until it's melted. You do need to kind of stand over it and give it a good stir so it doesn't catch. But we just want a nice and smooth kind of buttery, chocolatey mixture. It almost looks like chocolate sauce.
Chocolate soup?
Kind of. It looks like cheap chocolate sauce you'd have like on ice cream, like that kind of thing.
Oh, but that is the best kind of chocolate
sauce. It's really
sauce.
tasty. So we'll just pop that aside. So once it's melted, what we're gonna do, we're gonna add the 2 sugars and the eggs to the mixer, and we're just gonna mix it for a couple of minutes just to add some air and make it really nice. Professional bakers.
Everything's fine.
We want it to have like a little bit of air, almost like we're making like a whipped cake, so like a genoise or something. And the reason we do this is I think it gives a brownie a really nice fudgy texture.
Texture.
When you whip the eggs and the sugar, and it helps give that really crackly top. So if you want to add those 2 there, I'll start cracking the eggs. So there we go. So if you want to whisk those 2 together, I'll grab our melted cocoa mixture. Cool. So that's all nicely combined, and you've got this beautiful, beautiful chocolate mixture. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold in the flour. If you can add the flour as I fold. Take that off. Thank you very much. So you could theoretically sieve this. I don't find this recipe that picky. It doesn't really benefit from it.
If you don't need it to be light, then there's not really any point.
Yeah, so it doesn't really matter. And you are going to mix this enough so it will all combine, so don't worry about it too much. So if you want to add that in, thank you very much. And then the key is just kind of fold it through, and then when you can kind of just see the odd speck of flour, but there's no like big clumps or big streaks, you know you are done.
A little bit like muffins, kind of.
Exactly the same sort. Yeah, exactly the same sort of method. And then once it's all in there, we're going to pour it into our tin. This is like, brownie batter is one of those best things not cooked. Like it's so good.
I mean, should we just bag it up now and just put it on?
I mean, it's been a long day. Really awesome. So we're going to take our tray and we're going to pour that in.
Sticky.
Perfect. So now that the brownie batter is in our tin, we come to the very important part. This is the caramel that we made earlier, but we've let it cool down really, really nicely. And what we're going to do is just spoon some of the caramel all over. So take like a healthy teaspoonful and then just scoop it onto the brownie batter.
Yum.
And it will sink a little bit, but don't worry about it whatsoever. And because it's nice and firm, it will hold its shape a little bit. It won't fully bake into the brownie.
Because that's the trouble I sometimes have with
just disappears.
Yeah, it just kind of melts in.
Yeah, so this one will actually hold its shape. Not completely, it will bubble in a little bit, but because we're doing these big dollops, it's just the perfect little pockets of caramel.
Nice. I'm gonna go.
So cover, what I normally do is kind of like rows, so it's all over the place. So once this is baked, it's going to go into the oven that is preheated for about 25 to 30 minutes. If you put a skewer into it, it will come out with some moist kind of crumbs on it. If it comes out dry, it's not good, because that means you'll have a really dry brownie.
No one wants a brown.
Brown?
Everyone wants brown for their brownie, but nobody wants it to be dry.
Definitely not. I think for me, the best thing to do is err on the side of caution. If it's a little bit too gooey, that's fine. Ain't nobody going to complain about that. But if it's too dry, it's not good. So into the oven for about 25 to 30 minutes.
Ooh.
So now that our brownie is nice and cold, what I've actually done is I chill it down. So because this is so full of caramel, and brownies are quite tricky to cut neatly anyway, I actually chill it in the fridge for a good few hours because it just makes it cut a lot easier. It's also easy to lift it out of the tray because it doesn't bend and buckle.
Yeah.
So just a nice little extra way of ensuring it doesn't kind of screw up on you.
It's a nice sturdy brownie we've got here.
But the next thing we do is the topping. And now this makes the brownie a little bit ridiculous and a little bit over the top, but it's crazy good, so do it. We're gonna make a Swiss meringue and then we're gonna blowtorch it to smithereens. So what we've got is we've just got some caster sugar, which is gonna go in a bowl. And if you do want the full recipe, obviously the link will be in the corner, as always, take you through to my website. So don't comment, where's the recipe? It's on my website, it will be there.
It's up there, guys.
Exactly at the same time. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna add our egg whites. So this is not like normal meringue where you have to wait to add the sugar till it's already whisked. We're just gonna shove it all in together and pop it on a bain-marie, just a pan of simmering water, and basically just stir it together. You don't have to whisk it really vigorously at this point. Just stir it together until it's really nice and warm, and if you dip your finger in, you can't feel any sugar grains. It should be quite hot as well at that point.
I've been stirring this gently for a couple of minutes now, and I am just gonna rub it between my fingers, and it's grain-free.
So now that the sugar's all dissolved and the meringue mixture is nice and hot, we can add it onto the mixer and actually turn it into a meringue. So whisking it on nice high speed until it's nice and cool and thick.
Go!
So I am also just going to add a little pinch of cream of tartar, and there's two reasons for this. One is it makes it more stable as a meringue, but also this is very sweet. And cream of tartar is an acid, so it just gives a little bit of brightness to it as well. So it makes it taste slightly less sweet.
Do you want salt too?
You can add a little pinch of salt to it as well. It's just the same thing, it just makes it slightly less sweet. Thanks. So now that we have the meringue all nice and stiff and glossy, we're going to spread that over the mixture so it's nice and even. So now that the meringue is nice and spread over the brownie, it's time to do the fun bit, blowtorch time. My attempt to try to do a cool shot, it just didn't work.
Here we go. I know, health and safety.
So these are the finished brownies as they are. Now, obviously this is sticky, it's gooey, so it's a little tricky to actually cut into pieces. So the easiest way to do it is to take a really nice thin sharp knife and then either using a hob or using a blowtorch to heat it up. So be really careful with this. Heat the knife because you'll be able to make
I'm gonna let you do it, I'm scared.
much cleaner cuts.
Ooh, because it goes through all melty like.
Exactly, so you get really nice, smart, clean cuts. So do be careful if your knife's fully metal, because it will heat the knife up too.
Oh yeah.
So I'm just going to cut through about there. I feel like I'm cutting a wedding cake the way I just did that.
It's like a piece that's just right for me.
So what I normally do, because I'm really annoying, is I will do one slice and then I will clean the knife.
Absolutely.
Because look at that. I mean, you can already see on that knife, especially this side, all those little pockets of caramel. This is going to look ridiculously good. So if we've done this properly, this piece should be super dense and fudgy.
Oh my god, it's got a big blob of caramel in it.
Filled in the middle with caramel. I mean,
oh,
come on.
That looks
So you
really
have
fit.
So I think it's time to try.
Oh, can I just bite that corner?
Yeah, you just be able to take that
Okay.
corner.
Hang on. I'm gonna get it all over my face. It's okay though.
It's okay.
Been here before. Mmm. Mmm. Oh, literally. Entire mouth full of caramel. Oh, yum. Really fudgy. Really kind of dense in a good way. And that is well nice.
So that is how you make my ridiculous over-the-top salted caramel brownies with a burnt meringue topping. Now, if you want to go and watch Gemma's video, the link is in the link below and will come up at the end of this video. Go subscribe to Jemma, and don't forget I make videos every single week, so please subscribe and hit that notification bell because then you get notified when the recipes come straight in.
And do, if you haven't already, listen to the podcast that we did together.
Yes. So
on
Gemma
Stir the Pot.
Yeah, Gemma came on and did an episode, and it's one of my favourite episodes. It's a really nice episode. It just feels like we're chatting because that's basically what we did for an hour. But do go give that a listen. The link will also be for that in the box below. Until then, see you next week.
Bye.